Hello, everybody, and welcome to Club 38, where the bass rattles the walls, the lights strobe like lightning, and the night never lets you go. As always, I am Allie Gal, and I will be joined a little bit later by Kate Gaming, but also tonight we are joined by Nooch2Gud. Welcome, Nooch.
Thanks for having me, Allie. It's good to see you, and I really love your I love your hoodie. It's tremendous.
Thank you, thank you. For the listeners on Spotify and everything, I am wearing a Nooch2Gud hoodie. You could get it on his shop, which you could go to his YouTube. It's at Nooch2Gud, Nooch 2GUD.
Thanks for the plug.
I do it enough on the stream. Uh,
Yes, you do.
I'm like one of the only moderators that are like, yeah, let's throw a merch out here.
Let's plug this thing. Yeah, I agree, and I have no complaints.
Um, yeah, so generally what we do with the new people is which by the way, congrats on 40K. That's really big. Um Nooch, besides Arnold, who's kind of like with his new game might be, sidestepping away towards that a little bit. Nooch is the biggest content creator, so it is amazing to have him on the show.
We also know that is second largest, but also first loser. I think we're all looking up to the grand eternal emperor himself. So he's doing a great. He just still does a great job. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for the shout out.
Of course. Also, feel free to join his Discord. You could go. I have the YouTube link and Twitch link posted, so you go right over there, join the Discord, um, get all notifications and everything, and join all of his channels. All right, but if you want to kind of introduce yourself, explain your accounts, what kind of where your GP is. I know you have multiple accounts, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now I'm actually just running a couple of accounts. What we do on the channel is, and it's kind of evolved over time, we've been launching new free to play accounts every year for a while now, for several years, and kind of running through those free to play accounts and having some fun with them. But in the meantime, one of those accounts kind of morphed into I started a Hyperdrive bundle account just to see how it did for a year. And it kind of morphed into my main account that we've got into Kyber 1 after 3 years. And so I'm doing that the struggle bus between Kyber 1 and Kyber 2 because my mods just don't match up to other people and I've got to learn some strategies. I feel like every time you hit a new tier in Grand Arena, you've got to relearn how you play the game. So that's I'm in the process of doing that right now on my main account. And we're running my perfect farming guide on my free to play account, and that's going to be a permanent. It's going to be a permanent free to play account on the channel. So going forward, we're going to run the main account that's running in Kyber, and we'll be in Kyber 1 permanently sometime in the near future. We'll be running the free to play account on the side, just kind of alongside that, the Nooch 2 Perfect account. And then starting early next year, most likely, maybe in January, haven't decided yet, we're going to start up a new Galactic Legend Rush account, which folks in my Discord will be voting for. So we'll kind of got there's some creative suggestions on that. So we'll see how that works out for us over the coming months. So that's what we're running on the channel right now. The channel on YouTube is really built for people that are in that early, new player early up to mid game, and then we're kind of just starting to get into really that late to end game and covering the news a little bit more lately, kind of breaking into that full spectrum. But we've really built the channel on new early gamers, reviewing rosters, and helping folks out to learn the game.
Yes, so definitely check that out. I've seen Nooch, as stated a little earlier. I'm one of his moderators. I've seen him do some amazing things and definitely follow his guides. He's got some really helpful stuff, especially for the early moving up into mid game. Um, so the one thing I really, because I know you're a little short on time here, the big thing I really wanted to kind of ask you about and kind of discuss a little bit is you are part of the Relic Delta testers, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the big thing I really wanted to kind of figure out is like I know we discussed a lot of that the last couple episodes, but how did they even ask you? How did all that go down?
It was just Meathead reaching out to some different folks to say, "Hey, do you want to be involved in a test group?" And us agreeing and saying, "Yeah, I'll definitely be part of it." There wasn't a lot to it. Meathead has been a really good advocate for the content creators being part of the process in general. So I give him a lot of credit for that. And just talking to him behind the scenes, it's been a really big priority because years ago, there was a content creator program in Galaxy of Heroes, as there is with most games, period. Not even like mobile games, just most games have a content creator program. And a lot of games will have like recommendations for content creators in the game. Videos will pop up to say, hey, go watch this video. And we have none of that in our game. And it disappeared because there was some leaks or something in the past. I don't really know. I wasn't around at the time. And it kind of all blew up, and Capital Games has really stayed away from it. But I think Meathead's been a big proponent of getting that back up and running again in some form. And I think this is just kind of part of that, is getting the content creators really involved with the devs, working together on stuff.
I really love that they're actually bringing, us back into the fold. Um, so I noticed that a lot of they're trying to get a lot of testing and figure out like all the aspects of it, as well as like gameplay and just the experience overall. Which part are they leaning into you more for?
I'll be honest. I did a lot of testing up front, and I haven't done a lot in the last week or so. And that's been for me more of a time issue than anything else. With that said, I do open that testing, and I take a look at it, and they're really just leaning on the group for adjustments. I think there's two reasons. I should say that. I think there's two reasons. Um, One reason they're leaning on content creators, and they've got people in there that are just really high level gamers as well, is they're looking at folks that know the game. Say up front, I'm probably the least analytical of the group. I'm more like, I can look at my roster. I can figure out how to farm a roster, how to put it together, what comes next, what do we need to work on. I'm really good at big picture stuff. When I get into the minutia of Lord Vader's kit versus Leia Organa's kit, brain no worky like some people's brains worky for that. So me, I was more of a guy like early on. I was doing it when they brought out the first version of it. I was like, just throwing some solos in there, like, hey, look, you got a problem here because my Relic 8 Kylo is soloing like every other team in the game, period, Or with the original release of it, I remember I was taking a couple characters that had big AoEs. I took or not Akbar, I always call him Akbar, Radis. I took Admiral Radis in, and he at Relic 9 was soloing like Galactic Legends at Relic 5 teams. And I'm like,
Wow.
you can't, this just doesn't work, So that's probably been my biggest contribution, is just saying we can't, you can't have characters just doing solos, because that means we're just going to do that. I was going to go out and farm one character, take him to Relic 9 and blow away my opponent. So I do need to get a little more active with it. There's definitely a lot of active conversation in the server. You check in there and you can see them talking, and some really good minds in there. And I think a big part of it also was Capital Games. There is a marketing aspect of this whole thing. Let's give the content creators, let's get their hands on it. Let's let them talk about it. Let's give them something crazy up front so they all talk about it a lot. And I do think there is that, start out big and ease into it, frame of mind, to get people to really accept it more, which is happening because it is coming. It is coming, and there's no two ways about it. So we'll kind of see how that impacts the game when it does finally come into the game, and we'll also see how they change the relic economy, which they say they're going to change. We'll see exactly what that looks like when this finally does come to the game.
I'm excited to see how it looks, especially on my baby account. It'll be interesting to see like the farming paths that you make going forward, how much the Relic Delta is going to influence what you have there.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if it turns like, we farm characters now. just to where they need to be to get the next character unlocked. And then we move on to the next character, and you'll take some of those teams to Relic 5, 6, 7. Well, are you going to pick like if you've got 5 teams out there for Grand Arena offense and 5 for defense? Do you pick 10 characters, one for each team, and take them to Relic 9 to make sure you're not getting smoked? I mean, what is that farming going to look like? I think that's going to be the thing we're going to wrestle with probably over the next, well into next year, I think. Well into next year as we kind of figure out exactly what this new farming path is going to look like and what that looks like as far as farming those specific characters on your roster.
So is the Relic Delta like relic level um percentage? If does that go by the team or each individual character?
Each individual character. Yeah, it's not a sum total. It's each individual character.
And is this your first have you ever done any testing for CG at all, or is this your first time?
First time. No, I'm not that important. No. They really weren't involving a lot of content creators with a lot of testing in the past. So this is the first time for a lot, for I think a lot or almost everybody here to do the testing. I think Anna was involved previously. And there's some guys like that have been around for longer, a couple of them. I think it were like Ranger and Playbook that have been around for a while. They could have been involved in the previous one. I don't really know, but um, most of us have not done this before because really, I think the content creator multiverse, I guess, has had complete turnover over the last 4 or 5 years. So aside from Arnold and Ranger's still around and Playbook's around, but most people have just kind of either moved on or we brought in a whole slate of new creators.
And what are your thoughts on the testing aspect of it all so far? Are you enjoying it? Is it something you would do again later on?
Oh, it's something I definitely would volunteer for. I think that I have to just weigh out my time and how that's going to work with the testing, what that looks like. For me, just working a full-time job and making content, and there's a I work a lot of hours every week, so where can I fit in testing with that? That's really the challenge for me and where I contribute. And maybe that will count me out next time they do. I don't know, but I think it just depends on schedules and stuff like that aligning.
And then do you think that CG is gonna listen to complaints when all this even does come out?
Oh yeah, I feel like they're listening to people already, and I do feel like there's definitely was a strategy, like I said, to start big, and then they knew they'd have to bring it down. I don't think they ever planned on having 95% differences between Relic 9. I don't think that was ever planned on, but they wanted to see what it looked like. They've definitely been it's been open conversations between the devs and and everybody that's in there, testing it out. So there's yeah, open conversations. And Capital Games does care about what people think about their game. I do think there are some legitimate concerns with, the way that Grand Arena mismatching is now, that we don't want to have people going back to just go in there, lose a battle, get my 10 points and get out. That's just awful and that's not fun. They're going to have to
Mm.
figure that out, and they got to make sure that people can get in their Grand Arena and have some fun with this. And I think that's one of the bigger concerns with folks is just what does it look like for PvP? Because at the end of the day, PvP is the bread and butter of any game, whatever that PvP looks like.
Yeah, I'm curious though if that's gonna make them revamp Territory Wars overall, or if they're just gonna go right for GAC.
I have no idea. Here's what we did pick up from the comments they made were that part of their issue, I feel like this was the biggest issue, but they don't want to play it up as much, but they needed to go to Relic 10 and Relic 11, and they need to make relics more available to the community. But how did they do that? And could they build one way to do it instead of having to redesign the game every time they did Relic 10, this tank, that tank, this support, whatever, to put in the Relic Delta to work that and make it consistent across the board. And then from what I was reading on the update, hopefully that gives them time to work on Grand Arena updates, Territory Wars updates, Territory Battles. That's a scalable game mode anywhere where they add more planets or whatever else goes into them. So hopefully as sold to everybody, hopefully this does give them the time to work on Territory Wars and Grand Arena, both of which are in need of big improvements slash changes to make them work better, especially Grand Arena for the early gamers. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
Yeah, the way that they jump down in especially Carbonite with just the massive accounts that just drop just to get the title or whatever reason. It's not fair.
I don't think people drop to that. There's no real title to get necessarily. I think people just drop because they join and they're just casual players and they might play one out of every 3 to 5 matches and then they just end up dropping. Um, but there's got to be a way to fix that, and that's like with Scythe, not Scythe, with Scribe. I get my shit mixed up with my bald guy. With Scribe mentioning, um, he feels a solution is you got to take these inactives and put them out into a different bracket or something. Get these inactives out of there so they're not dropping down and beating up noobs at some point because that's just unpleasant for everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun. I think we've all ran into that when we have alts and everything, and
Yep,
it's terrible.
it is that.
Especially with the way that like it, I actually just had this talk the other day on Scribe's channel. Speaking of Scribe, he dropped a couple battles and ships, and I was like, wow, that's over. And everyone's like, what do you mean? You might as well get the full clear. I was like, no, just stop playing because win or lose, that's all that matters. Any whether you full clear, whether you do anything, that doesn't go towards your skill rating at all. Literally, you could just close the game right now and be good.
Yeah, that's a thought process. Phil has mentioned that too. Um, I think that's a tough one, like getting scoring in and getting I can't remember the word for that kind of what's that ranking system called?
Skill rating.
Skill ranking, but there's a word for it and I can't think of it right now. I'm gonna Google it while we're talking. Um, let's see here.
Yeah,
Da, da,
Caleb,
da,
you got any
da.
guides you could recommend for that?
Elo system, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Elo, Caleb said it. So, um, that's the least of I don't think that's the major concern in Grand Arena right now. At the higher levels, sure, but really there's nothing in this game. What am I trying to say? All you're doing until you get to Kyber 1 is climbing through different levels. There's no ranking within the levels of Kyber that matters to anybody in the game. I think that's unfortunate, and I think I do think it's a miss. So they could build in an elo system into the game somehow to rank players, but there's just no player rankings outside of Kyber, and even within Kyber, what you can see the top 100, right, or something, and then
Yeah.
the rest you can't really, if we want to have a ranking system, then put a ranking system. Get everybody out there. Let people see where I sit and who I'm competing with and what's going. I think that's next level. The first level is just to fix the game so that new players stick with the game. I mean, I think new players, and I've heard of this, new players just quit because you go into Grand Arena. Your first opponent has a 9 million galactic power roster, and they've got 6 galactic legends, and you've got 3 gear 12 characters. Like, what am I doing? Why am I even playing this game? It's just they've got to correct that. That's a complete mess, and it's not helping player retention at all.
He is Bit Dynasty was working on a rank at least for content creators. I'm trying to see if it's up here.
Yeah, I mean, I heard him talking about that.
There it is. Looks like it has other people in there too now. Um, you go to Swago, for period life slash GAC dash leaderboard. It kind of again, it's not perfect, but it does break down some content creators and other players to kind of compare where people are.
I think that and I knew he was doing something like that. Here's my thing. I love Bit, and I'm not fine, but that's fine. Um, I have always, and I might be way off on this. I know that different content creators at different times have made extra game content, extra gameable, like contests outside the game that they're organizing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I even thought about doing that on my, like doing a Survivor thing where we enter like around a grand arena with I don't know, 12 players, and after each round of grand arena, we look back at their history and chat votes on which one to keep, which one to boot, whatever. But my general thought process is that stuff should be built in the game, not Survivor. But I think that stuff should be built in the game. And if you're having to build up like ranking systems and contests and whatever outside the game, then that's an indicator that the game is missing something. That's to me that's what that indicates. Like the game is missing what's going on here. And again, I might be completely off base here. And I know that this happens in all games. There's always some extra contest going on. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm definitely not saying it's bad at all. I just feel like when that stuff's going on outside the game, it tells me that there's something missing from the enjoyment of the game itself, especially when it becomes broad. So maybe narrow stuff like, here's my group. We're gonna do a little Survivor. I'm gonna give somebody a Lego set at the end of it, whatever. Um, but the broader it gets, the more it indicates that something's missing in the game, and that's why I've tried to. And I don't have time to organize a whole nother thing. Uh, Shoot, I got too much going on. I'm
Yeah,
a
I
busy
get that.
man, Ellie.
Although that Survivor thing sounds pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you could coordinate getting a couple people on stream every round, just to like have people try to throw you off or be like, "Oh yeah, this counter works. You should try this one."
I have tried things like that. I do not enjoy that. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys will have people on stream, like Ranger, like has people just not talking at him the whole time. And I even did once where I had people in my Discord like set my defense for me. I just hated it. I just hated it. Like it was funny and it was cute. It was here's this theme we're gonna do all princesses. I don't know whatever it was, and it's like yeah, it's funny and it's cute. And now I lose Grand Arena and nothing really interesting happened out of it. So congratulations to me because I'm not the guy that has to win at everything, but I like competing. So and we did a lot of time. We did dad talks, and we used to have people on stream talk about their rosters and about their Galaxy Heroes journey and their Star Wars journey, and that was a lot of fun. It just becomes. I know this is gonna sound. I don't know how it's gonna sound, but it becomes another thing to manage at some point. And when you're balancing the chat with the game with it can be really challenging. And so I don't really bring people into chat or open up chat as much anymore because it just gets distracting. And then no, you're not allowed to set my defense because then I get even more crabby than normal.
Yeah, Phil's kind of said the same thing. He's always been a content over or a account over content. So like he's never gonna be the guy to like let chat do anything because he just wants to win.
I would also say yeah, I agree with Phil, and I'd also say for me, I've talked about this on stream. Um, I am I'm a pretty independent person, and so uh it's not that I don't, it's not, I wouldn't resist asking for help if I really need help. But when I don't feel like I need help and I feel like I can figure something out, I want to figure something out. Like, what was it last week? I was doing something. Oh, I was putting together, yeah. So we were trying to do a drawing and I had to redo the wheel for the new entries. and I put it all in there. It was all messed up, and I'm like, oh, I got to redo it. And I'm going through manually and removing a bunch of numbers. And I knew chat. I could see chat like scrolling up over here on the side, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't listen to you right now because I know that I can put this together and get it done. It's just gonna take me a few minutes. And then like I come back and there were suggestions like just pull ally codes. And I'm like, I don't want to pull. I want to pull people's names on screen because that it's more fun to have your name pulled out of a hat than a random ally code. And then one guy was like, "Well, imagine you don't want chat to talk to you while you're." And I'm like, "I didn't say that. Nobody ever said that." Anyway, a little crash out moment. So, and then also like if this is my other drawback, if somebody is asking me for help but they don't really need help, I don't really want to help them either. So that's I've got a that's a personality flaw or perhaps a benefit when you're building your own business and doing something on the internet. But yeah, I like to do it myself. And it's we engage your chat. I don't want to make it sound like if you come to the channel, we're talking all the time. I mean, Caleb, Stanable, these guys know they're in chat all the time talking about things, and we're going back and forth about counters. Um, but I generally like to make my own decisions, and if I make a decision that's spurred by chat and then it fails, it just really bothers me a lot. I think that's I'm not very good at hiding that either, so that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's also entertainment too. Um,
Yes, crash
I
outs are entertainment. I know. Yes,
I think people enjoy the crash outs,
I know.
and then
I think they do, except for the person that I'm yelling at, maybe.
I have to come up with the band hammer and
That's usually for different stuff. That's usually for different stuff.
no, that's the trolls. Yeah, that's a whole separate issue. Uh,
Sometimes, occasionally.
but we're approaching your half-hour mark. If you had to breeze on out of here, if you just want to do your kind of plug your stuff again, and then
Yeah, I do need to get running, Allie. I really appreciate the time and thanks for all the support. I mean, you've definitely supported my channel as a mod and a member, and a lot of people that are watching you right now are big supporters of my channel. And um, the real goal at the end of the day, we talk about the channel. My goal is to come on the internet and have some fun with a few folks and make some friends and provide mostly an entertaining atmosphere where occasionally dad crashes out. And I think we successfully do that. And we get into like a lot of personal conversations sometimes, which is I always enjoy that. And I look at my down the road whenever I'm able to stop working for the man and do this full time. And I've got that in I've got that in my headlights right now. Eventually we'll develop something else, and I'm kind of mulling it over where we can just get together for a few hours a day and just talk about whatever's going on. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're having fun. We're farming a game. And at the end of the day, I say this all the time. It's a game. Let's all chill out a little bit and just maybe crash out once a week for no good reason. That's good enough. And that brings in entertainment for all you guys. So there you go.
absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Nooch. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks, Alligal and Caleb and Stanimal. Good to see you guys.
And as all right, I guess the last thing we really got to say is one, this is day number what is it? What day are we at for Coke sponsorship?
Uh, 2,464,521.
All right, yeah, of asking Coke to sponsor Nooch's stream, and as you go about your day, always remember Nooch too good.
Thank you, Gal.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you
What's that
later.
Pepsi? What is that crap? You can't say Coke and then pull a Pepsi out. You planned that.
I'm a Pepsi drinker.
All right. Well, you're mostly okay in my book. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Take care, Nooch.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right. So thank you, Nooch, for joining. We really appreciate you taking your time out to do that. Um, uh, Caleb says Coke is greater than Pepsi. Wrong. I think that is definitely not wrong, or definitely wrong. 1 sec. I'm trying to pull a image up here on the screen. All right, ads will be on the way in 1 minute over on Twitch. By the way, if you're on Twitch, don't worry about ads. You could always catch the replay on my YouTube channel or Spotify or Amazon or whatever. Yes, so that's the plug I want to make. You could find all of our links over at the link tree. It is https link tree with a period after the tr, so it's linktr period ee / club 38, and there you could find my YouTube, my Twitch, Kate's Twitch, the Discord, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. So definitely go check that out. Join everything. Grab the Club 38 role. Ask all the questions because we really love answering questions. It could be anything Swiggle related, personal, whatever. Right here and this. I'm just going to throw this up. Again, as everybody kind of knows, recently I've been a victim of domestic violence, and since Kate's not here yet, I gotta fill time. So I'm definitely gonna do this now. But the big thing to know about this is this really hits home for me because of everything that's been going on. And trying to find my percentages here. This really does hit home. Obviously, uh everything's changed with the stream because of my situation. Um According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence is one of the most chronically underreported crimes. Only 25% of all physical assaults, 20% of all rapes, and 50% of all stalking perpetrated against females are reported to the police. For the small number of cases that do get reported on average, a woman will be assaulted by her partner or ex-partner 35 times before reporting it to the police, if ever. So please, if you are ever in a position and you need help, the number is right here on the screen if you're watching the replay. If not, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or Amazon, the number is 1-800-799-7233. Or you could text START to 8878. Or if you need to go online, you can go to thehotline.org. So please make sure that if you ever need anything, you go get help because that is the most important thing. And then so going back to the Swiggle related stuff, I was really hoping that we would have a kit for the stranger, but unfortunately that wasn't updated yet. It still says they teased me. They really did tease me. They got, they posted the picture and he's looking really good. And it's just that it just says soon, and unfortunately we don't get a kit. I I'm really curious to see exactly what they're gonna do with him. Um, in what my thought is I would really love to see him as like a solo team, because in the show he does a lot of like he really is like a one-man team. And they've already got a couple, and I'd love to see more of that with
Gotta give him that huck. and spit on that thing. You get me?
Yeah, basically. So I would really love to see more of those like single teams, because you get Wampa, um you get like that's about it. Just you can do it with the Kron and Sidious, and then just Wampa. And then sometimes you could pull it off with Savage, but he generally gets tossed in with Treya, so that you don't really get that a whole lot. You more or less see him with Treya and Nihilus. So we're anxiously awaiting this kit CG. Meathead, let's uh let's get on this if you're watching. And yeah, so Kate should be on here momentarily. She had to put the baby down, and she'll be joining us shortly. Uh let's see what other topics do I got here for the night. I had a lot planned for Nooch. All right. News, not a whole lot of news. Outside of that little kit that just said soon, there was one thing that came out earlier today. It was just for like a tool testing that they're implementing now. It's potential weird inbox messages. Um, but what it says is just the team will be testing a new tool over the next week or so, and you may see an inbox message that seems kind of strange. It will most likely have 1 credit attached to it. We will update this message when testing is complete. So that is coming from Meathead and everything. So if you get a weird message, don't think anything of it. The kit dropped a little bit ago. It just says soon. I don't have any kits that dropped. Oh, here we go. For LOM. Let me show the. Is that Kate?
It is.
How are
Sorry.
you doing, Kate?
Good. I just put the baby in the cribs. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Let me throw that up. Stretch everything out. You just missed Nooch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. I asked him a lot of your questions for you. You can catch it all
Okay.
on the playback.
Yeah, I figured I'd have to do that.
All right, so welcome in, Kate. Everything's good now. You're captured on the stream.
All right.
Um, I was just telling everybody we don't got a whole lot of news. I covered the weird inbox thing they asked, and then we just got a 4 LOM kit that just dropped an hour ago.
What did we get?
The 4-LOM kit.
Oh, I did not see that, but I also.
I didn't either.
Oh, I see it now. Well, I got a new phone today, so I was switching everything with my phone while on top of everything else. It's
Oh,
been a
that's
day.
it sounds it.
Yeah, it was they like I swear they pushed a security update and like they must know my phone is like almost 3 years old, and all of a sudden it's like not working.
I blame CG.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So
So we talked to Nooch about a little bit about the Relic Delta stuff and how much it's going to influence. 'Cause he does a lot of early game testing, so
Mhm.
discuss a little bit how it's going to influence that and GAC and everything else. And here we are.
All right. So are we on to like viewer questions then?
Um, I was just covering news a bit. You got
Okay.
anything you want to say about the kit reveal they did for the Stranger?
Didn't it just say soon?
Yes.
And that was it.
Yep, they just gave me the tip. That was it. They were just like, "Here, Allie, here's the tease.
Yeah.
Here's the tip."
I was like, it kind of threw me off because I'm like, they don't normally do that. So I'm like, is this supposed to mean something?
So
But
I was, if you haven't listened to the recent Huts hangout, I was on Huts hangout and I got a message Friday night.
Emotional damage.
I got a message from my Aussie Mike the other night, and he was like, "Hey, the kit just dropped. Let's let's have you on the Huts hangout and let's talk this kit." I was like, "Absolutely." And it's
and
like,
then
"Oh
you're
yeah,
like, what kit?
soon. Great kit, thanks."
Is he the next Conquest character?
He
I think they
is.
said that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we
So,
should be getting it relatively soon.
what are your thoughts on like what he's gonna be?
I'm almost looking at him almost like a utility character. Like, I'm not really sure where he's going to fit in because we're not doing like I don't see them doing a whole acolyte, kit like characters. So I'm wondering if he's going to be more like a star killer or like a Malicos, where it's you kind of plug and play him wherever you want. But that's also knowing nothing about what his kit is.
I was kind of hoping for a Wampa.
Could be, yeah, like a solo person. That makes sense for him because that's kind of like how he ran in the show. So
And no, I think outside of him, nobody really cares much about any of the other characters. So let's put him in, make him a solo.
yeah, I'm trying to think because they usually typically conquest characters or some sort of lifter. I mean, Bane was supposed to be C's lifter, and we all see how that went. So I'm curious who if they're trying to tie him into somebody, or if it is like a Wampa where it is like a single off character.
Yeah, it. That'd be. I'm really hoping that's what he is. I could, because I know they got the Apple too, or Apple. Sorry, it's a long day, and I'm looking at chat now. I know they have the Sith tag that they'll probably toss on him. But by the way, in case you didn't know, marshmallows are great. His phone is considered vintage by Apple now.
I mean, mine's considered vintage probably too at this point. You know what's like kind of like so oh my god. It's totally off topic, but like I have the old well, up until like today, I had the oldest phone out of like everybody. Even our 7-year-old nephew got a phone for his birthday, which I think is way too young for a phone. But he got like an iPhone, whatever the newest one is. I was like, this is ridiculous.
So
Like what?
what did you have?
I had a Galaxy S22.
That's not that old.
It is compared to everybody else in our family.
As I look at mine sitting over there. I mean,
They're not made to last anymore.
I
They're
have an
not made to
Apple
last.
now. I unfortunately, with my kids having a tablet, I went to Apple, so I could use the Apple Talk with them. But
I tried an Apple once, and it might have not helped that it was like I was in college, my phone just completely like stopped working, and I didn't feel like buying a new phone, so my cousin gave me his old iPhone cuz I was like I want to try an iPhone, but I don't know. And it was an older one, and it was chewed up by his dog a
oh,
bit, and I didn't like it. So I went back to Android. But that was my experience with Apple, and I'm just not a fan. So
yeah,
I can't do it.
I prefer. I don't know if we're gonna get so much hate from Apple now. I prefer the Galaxy.
Hmm.
I just have this literally to talk to my kids. Congrats,
Yeah,
Apple.
that makes sense.
Apple Messaging's the one thing you have for going for you.
I mean, my husband has an Apple, and like when he's at work, we just do like the video call over Snapchat. So we figured out workarounds because he has to say night night to our daughter. So
Yeah. Facebook Kids Messenger kind of messes with that now.
I didn't even know that's a thing.
Yeah, it apparently is, but I don't know.
Anyways, back to the stranger. I don't know when did they ever say they said something about didn't we get a data mine that said something about check back at this date at this time?
Not I can't check Discord. Um,
I'm like rolling through them right now.
I don't remember seeing anything like that.
I feel
Wait,
like we got a data mine that said check after October 6th, 3 p.m. That was like a week ago now.
yeah. Looking at this, 5 days ago was the 9th. Yeah.
They didn't really give anything that crazy though after that October 6th post. So I'm not sure what that was all about.
Yeah, it's teasing
Because of the stranger.
me. Yes. It is a very nice pick though. I do enjoy the pick. However, thank God Wombrat's not here because he would go on a long rant about the text. Because apparently that writing doesn't actually translate to his name.
No, what does it translate to?
Uh what did he put? Basically the O or the circly looking thing in the beginning um doesn't translate to anything.
Oh,
Um
interesting.
Basically what it reads is nothing, IT, a backwards R, backwards E, a V, backwards E, backwards A, and an L.
Aussie Mike saying it's supposed to translate to kit reveal.
Yeah. So that's what he captured.
Hmm, interesting.
It's all backwards, it's all
Well, it's the same thing that's under the L for LOM. So yeah, it's got to be kit reveal. So
yeah. But it doesn't measure out to kit reveal. And did he put it on the he did. Everybody's never gonna see that the same now. Congratulations. It
it
doesn't
looks
say
like now they're going. So like just taking a quick look. Let me just go to this.
leader, bounty hunter, droid, scoundrel.
So they're trying to synergizes with assist heavy dark side bounty hunters, especially Zuckus,
Uh,
which they announced earlier.
new debuff, corrupted translation. Stacks up to 3 times and enables powerful lockdown effects.
Protocol droid turned bounty hunter. This is the first time I'm seeing the kit reveal. I didn't even know we got one.
I
Quite
didn't either.
frankly.
I just saw chat and they said that we got it, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess we gotta check this out.
This is interesting. The 4 LOM represents a dark mirror version of C3PO, which also worked as a key inspiration for the corrupted translation. That's interesting. It's not going to translate to anything super important in the game, but I just thought pretty cool fact.
Are you watching the Twitch stream at all, Kate?
I am now.
Did you just
It's on an ad.
just type something?
Yeah. What do you need?
I'm just gonna make you a mod.
Okay.
You got me on yours. I'll do it.
Oh, just type a message. Okay.
Hey, look at that. First time chatter.
Surprising. I feel like I've definitely chatted before.
There we go.
And the marquee starts Tuesday, October 21st at 11 a.m. Pacific. No characters required for the event.
Accept him.
Will 4 LOM be required for Zuckus's event? Okay, so I am probably butchering how to say that, but I don't remember them saying that Zuckus is a legendary.
I don't either.
But they just said that, or it's just a later marquee, maybe? I guess the unlock is required for later tiers if
When did
Zuckus is a marquee.
they announce this? The update and one?
They're calling out Zuckus fun in this kit.
Yeah, so the Zuckus, apparently they only have as episode 2. So the Era Deadly Pursuit is 1 Rogue One in Rebel B-Wing, 2 for LOM and Zuckus, Conquest Character the Stranger, and then title earned Call of the Hunt.
This is so random. It's like they have the Zuckus and the LOM, but then you have the Stranger. Like usually a lot of stuff is connected, but like right now none of this feels connected. Unless I'm missing something.
He's a territory battle Omicron.
Okay.
Looks like 1 Zeta, 1 Omicron. The territory battle.
So
Nothing
they're
special from what I'm seeing.
no, which I'm curious why. Why are we adding these characters? I mean, they're going to have a new ship incoming. I think that was announced in a previous post.
I don't
I'm almost
remember.
positive it said there was a ship.
I'm curious about this too. What is the point of this? This seems rather pointless to have these two in the game.
It does. That's why I'm really thrown off.
I don't think they have a ship or anything. Let's Google that because I really don't know these characters outside of like the second you get to see them in Star Wars and like the cantina.
Unless this is supposed to be like onto Afra Squad. That could be something, but I don't know if that's the intention.
The only other thing I could think of is with them being a little bit bounty hunter, if they have a ship, is it going to be an executor lifter or something like that? But that would basically nullify the fact that you brought in the Rogue One.
So Baby Yoda says maybe they kept the era light because the upcoming changes. So what era are we technically in anymore? I don't even remember.
This is the era of Deadly Pursuit.
Sounds bounty huntery. I
Lifter
lift her to the
boss
boss
team.
team. To have all the characters from Vader's Hunt. That could make sense. It could be a lifter to the bounty hunters, but
why? That's the question. What is their... They've always got an end game. All the pirates were leading up to Hondo. The Rogue One and all the and like this current episode is to lift up Home One and Profundity to actually make them relevant. There's got to be a bigger picture for this.
they haven't announced the next era yet, have they?
No, just these couple episodes, and
so we really don't know what's coming up. We don't know a legendary. Like, we're not going to get a jail for a while. We just got Hondo. Yes, we had the stranger coming as Conquest. We got these two characters. There was one not too long ago.
Aussie Mike says money. That's why. And Baby
Well,
Yoda
yeah.
Eyes did mention new events and new game modes coming. Could tie into that.
Yeah, because
Potentially.
they did mention that there's new game modes, which curious of what kind of game
The
mode.
only thing I could really potentially see is like maybe another planet in territory battles, especially having the territory battle Omicron. And just having like how they have the Afra mission and the Jabba mission and all that. Just like a special or LOM and Zuckuss mission. And then the rest of the bounty hunter team to go with it.
It's just odd because then it's like so recently we've had the Rogue One, which was introduced into the game, and we also just had the B-Wing. It's just it seems like a lot of random stuff that doesn't.
Absolutely.
I don't. There's got to be something that we just don't know yet. That it's kind of like trying to put a puzzle together that we're just not getting.
Because Googling it, I don't see a ship for him. So it can't
Marshmallow
be
saying
anything ship related.
Say maybe there's an aspect of each character we're not thinking of when combined will give us a new insight. This would be the second era. It leads to nothing. Maybe it's a meta puzzle. It could be. It's gotta be something about whatever this new game mode is.
Captain New Planet. Maybe it's Aussie Mike says maybe it's going back to Starkiller Afra theme at the end of the year.
Quite frankly, Afra does need like some kind of boost. I think
she really does. She's outside of when she has the Omicron, not that great.
And then Starkiller, you can use in different ways, but I could see the Starkiller team needing a little bit more oomph.
So the thing I use Starkiller for is an UFO team.
Well, yeah.
There's really not a place for these guys on like a Starkiller team.
Well, so the Starkiller team I used to use pretty consistently against Rays. Now that's becoming much harder because a lot of people set Ray with Ezra. So it's definitely not.
The UFO team still works there
effective.
though.
It's not as effective as it used to be.
I have a really good rate against it. I think I've lost once. Still got a pretty good percentage, I believe.
good in 5v5 with Darth Vader, but every other situation she isn't very good. Yeah, no, she's definitely not.
Ray counters in Grand Arena. The 3v3, if you use Seer, Starkiller, and Terran, you're at 98%. 211 times.
I don't know. I haven't been having as much luck as I used to.
5v5, we're looking at... Where are they? 77 around percent. Different variations that people use. Where's my variation?
See, if you use, I just plugged in, if you use Ray, if it's against Ray, Ben, Ezra, Exile, and you use Seer, Maliko, Starkiller, there's only a 55% win rate. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Especially now since you have resistance datacrons. It's not good.
They also have the Ray Datacron too. Out right now.
Yeah.
So that's...
The data with the current datacron sets, Seer is not super ideal to use versus Ray. At least I haven't had great luck with it. It's saying 5v5, the win rates are a little bit more. But 5v5, I don't think use the resistance crons. Or the GL Ray cron.
Yeah,
And,
it's looking like your best chance with this cron is Slacker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Marshall says I win my matchups about 40% of the time, so I'll take a 55% win rate. Oh my god.
Oh, poor Marshmallow. Hey, I'd take that. At 55%, that's above average, right? CG wants you about 50%, so we'll take it.
In the engineering discipline I was in, a 55% was a B. Just trying to fail above the curve is what, or yeah, I forget what we used to say. We used to say something like that.
Stanimal says, I follow the Ranger school of thought. Wherever Ezra goes, you get Slacker.
Exactly. Especially now with the dark side Raycron gone, it definitely frees you up to like do different things, because I feel like when the dark side Raycron was around, almost everybody I went against put her on defense.
Oh yeah, if you didn't put her on defense, like, what were you were trying to do something on offense with it, and there was a point, but at the same time, why would you not put her on defense?
Yeah, because she was just so effective. Like, if you struggled versus that Cronus, especially 3v3, 3v3, you pretty much, there was a very good chance you were going to stop your opponent because of that Cron. 5v5, I definitely think was quite easy to take out if you just ran JMK Cat 5s.
Yep, 5s made the
With the
difference.
Hodacron. Yeah. I always thought that was relatively easy, but 3s was not.
I really had no issue with with the 5v5. I think I maybe dropped the battle maybe once. If that. 3v3, that was an issue.
Yeah. Well, it's gone now, so at least we don't have to worry about that for a
Well,
while.
now we got the Raycron. And they put the First Order Cron in.
Yeah, which you want the Special Forces one.
Yeah, I have the one with SLKR right now.
I just realized I don't know if I joined GAC.
Ooh,
Oh no. Today's Tuesday. Oh my goodness, I forgot the holiday threw me off. I don't know if I joined.
that's not good. You might want to check that.
Whoopsies.
That's something you might want to check.
So the funny thing is, I actually know I joined on the OG account. But I don't know. Oh, I joined.
Yay.
Oh god, that was too funny. If I would have joined on the OG account, but not the big account.
Could have streamed the OG account.
Can that takes all of like 10 minutes. Especially since I'm pretty sure I'm in Carbonite now because I just did not do GACs for months. I think
You're,
it said I'm in like Carbonite 4.
I do them. I just don't care about the baby account anymore. So I think I'm in like, I'm dropping. I was in,
Are you going down to 1?
I think I'm in a rhodium now with it.
Yeah.
It's slowly dropping. Because I still do try it. Like, I'll go in and I'll do a couple battles, and I'm like, alright, do I do good? Alright, guess I'll finish it. If not, whatever. Take the
Yeah,
L. Because I got the big account. I don't really care.
I get it. And you got a lot going on. So
Alright.
makes it hard.
Do you want to try to go to viewer questions? I know it's a little early.
Yeah. You need me to read them?
Here, yeah.
All right. So questions for this week from ST Animal. With a large group of play testers giving feedback and collecting information, how confident are you that Relic Data or Delta will remain balanced? So we're gonna go with that first, and then there's like a second question.
So the big thing being with exactly how many testers are out there and who's doing the testing. I know Egnards is part of it. And as we all know, he's a math guy. So with him part of that team, I have faith. Egnards, this is going to be recorded, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but I actually have faith that because he's a part of the team, it's actually going to be decent. Okay.
So you think the result we'll get is balanced?
Yeah, I think it'll be about as balanced as we can get. And I could actually see like it working out decently because of the team we have there.
Makes sense. I mean, from the people that I know who are the play testers, I think they'll provide a lot of feedback that'll be helpful. I don't think you're ever going to get exactly what you want. I think there's always going to be a little bit of incentive to be like, you got to go push a little harder than probably people want to for whatever they're working towards. When it comes to the Relic Delta specifically, we're going to get better than what we have, or well, what they were given. But it's not going to be like nothing like people want. There's still going to be something there. So I think it'll be in a better position than it's in. But I think there's still going to be a lot of people not happy about it. But that's just also at the same time, that's game progression.
I
So
think you're going to get people that just aren't happy about it in general.
it doesn't matter what they announce. There's always going to be people not happy. It's kind of just how it goes.
Unfortunately, that's just the player base.
It happens, but it's going to definitely be, I think, in a better spot than it is right now. I kind of look at it as the way, and I've said this the whole time, the way this Relic Delta was rolled out, they're starting at like this point where it's like, this is the worst possible situation, and we're going to come down and meet you in the middle. That's what I think.
which is the smart thing on their end, in my opinion.
You'd piss more people off if you're like, we're gonna do this and we're just gonna do this, but then you're like, you come back and you're like, oh wait a minute, we actually meant to do it higher. Like, you have to do it the other way around. Because then people think they're getting a deal. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's like when you go to buy something and it's like way overpriced, and you're like, well, I'll pay you like half of it. And you're like, I was just trying to get half of it anyway. So it's kind of like
I'll
that.
charge you 3/4 of it.
Exactly. It's like you think you're getting a deal, but it's really just what they wanted the whole time.
That could be it. I legit think that they are trying to do the right thing by the player base this time around. Um, Obviously people aren't
Uh,
happy with it, but
They just came out with the Stranger Kit, like literally right now.
okay.
Sorry, I just saw my Discord notification pop through, and it is literally the Stranger Kit reveal.
Can we actually read this one? I want to read it.
Okay.
Okay. Um, okay, we will finish. Let's finish up, viewer. I'll leave it to
We'll
the
just run
people.
through viewer questions real quick,
I was
and
gonna
then we'll
say
go look at the kit.
yeah.
So let's go to the next one. Do you prefer name brand items, or is store brand okay? And if store brand is your typical preference, are there any items that are outliers and have to be a specific brand? Actually, Nooch responded to this saying, I think this is dependent on the product. I'll buy generic acetaminophen, but generic Cheez-Its are god awful.
Yeah, that Nooch was our guest on earlier. Thank you, Nooch, again. I'm with Nooch. It all depends, really. Like condiments and stuff, like ketchup, ranch, that kind of. I have to have name brand. If it's off brand, it just tastes funky to me. So I will buy Hellman's, Heinz. I make sure that I buy the name brand. And also toilet paper and stuff. Like, can't do
Oh
the
my
cheap
god,
stuff.
yes.
You cannot do the
No, the
cheap
cheap
stuff.
stuff is awful.
Like, buy Charmin, get the good stuff. There's some stuff you just can't go cheap on.
Yeah, I agree. There's some stuff where I will buy the generic, like, I don't know, silly stuff like napkins and, like you're saying, utensils. Like, I'll just buy the generic brand. But there's certain things. So, like, what my first job was working at like one of those places that's kind of like a pharmacy and a store.
Mhm.
So there's just stuff there that I'm like, I would not buy the generic brand, especially with certain medicines. And like, for some reason, band-aids, like band-aids, I cannot buy the generic kind because they just never work for me. I have to get like the band-aid brand band-aids. They like are the only ones that I could ever get to like stick. But
And then
yeah.
the other thing that I'm very very picky on is one sec. Thank you, Desi, for the sub. I appreciate you. I definitely
And
appreciate you.
Desi agrees that the generic band-aids peel off in 3 hours. Yes, exactly.
Like my big thing is hot dogs. I refuse to eat anything if it's not Hoffman brand. And yes, that is a New York brand. I understand that. It's the Hoffman hot dogs are just like next level, essentially. Uh-oh. Baby crying.
I don't know. It was like a weird sound. Like, give me 1 second.
All right. I will continue my rant about hot dogs. So I know you mentioned some brats earlier. I'm a Hoffman person, and again, that is a New York thing. Um, they are like they're amazing. They really are.
It's weird. Something is going off, but like the baby's asleep. I have her monitor up. it was just a weirdly weird noise. I don't know.
Huh.
As Durgan would tell me, my house is haunted.
You need to only use the candle.
No. No, definitely not.
All right,
But
so next question.
what's do you still go trick or treating? If not, when was the last time? And what was the costume?
I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't.
You
If
probably
that,
take your kid,
I was
right?
gonna say I take my kids, but I don't dress up or anything. I haven't done that since I was, God, junior high or something. And I remember going as Hermione Granger.
Oh, nice.
How about you?
We took our daughter last year. She was a little bee, and we were her beekeepers.
Oh, that's
Before
adorable.
that, I usually don't. Even growing up, I miss trick or treat a lot because they always tended to fall like during soccer games, and I played soccer. So like because the girls played on Saturdays, I always missed trick or treat.
Oh, that's terrible.
So I really didn't go trick or treating much growing up. Um, yeah.
I did growing up because I didn't do any like extracurricular activities. Like I wanted to do basketball because I love playing basketball. Um, not very tall or anything, so it'd be like a guard. Um, and I
I used to
wanted
play
to do Girl
basketball.
Scouts, but I couldn't do Girl Scouts either. So here I am as a leader now. Because I do it on my own.
Trying to remember what the last Halloween costume I dressed up as. It probably
Um,
was college and
I want
probably partying or
I
something.
have thought about doing like a costume with like my kids and stuff, but my issue is um we go trick or treating with baby daddy and um their significant other, and I'm not, I don't want to be like, "Oh yeah, here's a full like costume with the five of us and look at us go. We're so happy cuz
Mm, gotcha. Actually, we are dressing up this year. Well, we're going away and we're doing the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and me and my husband are gonna be Sully and Mike Wazowski, and our daughter's
oh,
gonna be Boo,
I love
which
that.
we like so and then we're going with my in-laws, and they're doing Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. My brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their two kids are doing the aliens. So it's like they wanted us to do like a Toy Story theme, but me and my husband are not really like we like Toy Story, but we're like, eh. We've been wanting to do like Boo for a long time with our daughter.
I love
So
that. Actually, I just got an idea. If we were to get the funding, Desi, would you drive to New York and do my hair like Leia's, and I could do the full blown Leia costume?
no. That's what I've wanted to do. So, like,
I've always
for the
wanted to be Leia.
longest well, no, so I wanted to do Padme. So I wanted to
Hmm.
like, I used to be in pretty good shape and, like, I was like, "Oh, I'll do the midriff Padme one time," and I just
Like
never got
the
the
white
costume.
midriff.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep. I mean, that's the long-term goal, but I would love to do also Padme's, like, the dress, like, the
Desi, you never
multicolor
answered my
one.
question. She's like, yeah, bye. Nope.
Let's go to the next one. Knowing the game needs to evolve, what do you recommend to CG as an alternative to Relic Delta? I feel like we a lot of us have done this one so much. Um, honestly, after reading their post, I don't really know what else they could do. They actually have good reasoning behind wanting to do it, but I think how it was presented just didn't sit well, and I think it needs to be worked on.
What was the question again?
Knowing the game needs to evolve, what would you recommend CG do as an alternative to Relic Delta?
Fix territory wars.
Oh, well, yeah, in that sense, I was thinking more of like just an alternative to Relic Delta
Yeah,
itself.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not gonna do the whole Relic Delta thing, maybe just Relic 10, because we do have to move forward. We gotta progress, and the whales are starting to all hit that Relic 9. Like, you need the Relic 10, Relic 11, and fix territory wars.
All right. And then Marshmallow asked if you could fill your pantry with one snack or sweet treat, what would it be and why? I'd take a full pantry of Utz cheddar cheese balls. Hmm. If it's got to be my pantry,
Cheddar and sour cream.
absolutely. The chips.
Lay's, yes.
I'm really not like a huge chip person. I'm a ice cream and chocolate and all that. Like I don't really eat chips.
I have
If
the
I'm gonna pick a chip, I would
actually.
do the sour cream and onion.
You're gonna call me crazy for this, but you know what actually like goes really good with it is cottage cheese.
Ooh.
It sounds really weird, but I swear like the foot like you, I can't explain it. It's like the saltiness of the chip with just the cottage cheese bringing it down a little bit. It's I said the same thing, and then I got into this house and I tried it because somebody told me to, and I was like, "This is good."
Now, if you let me fill I would do probably Reese's or York peppermint patties
Ooh,
because
Reese's.
like I said, I'm like a chocolate person. I like chocolate. I don't really snack on chips too much.
I like
And then
chocolate at a certain time of month, and then I'm like, yes, all the chocolate.
I made triple chocolate brownies last night, so that
Ooh,
I eat chocolate all the time. I feel like I eat it like every single day.
exactly. Desi says cottage cheese is basically cream cheese or ranch with less herbs.
That's true. Cottage cheese is, I would say, an acquired taste though.
I
Or
mean,
you gotta like mix it with stuff.
I could eat it straight out of the container with a spoon.
I used to mix it with like when I was on a really like healthy eating kick, I would like use it to mix with my eggs. Like I would put the
Oh,
eggs,
that sounds
cottage
good.
cheese. Yeah, and then any toppings I had, I would just like mix it into that and make the eggs that way.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it got my protein in.
Eh.
That's how I looked at it.
The way I've looked at it is since like pregnancy, like, what's eh, bring all the weird food, whatever.
See, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I never got cravings or weird cravings. Like people say you get like pickles and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't have anything.
Oreos and sour cream.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, it tastes like cheesecake.
Maybe one day I'll try it. But that was the last viewer question, so we can move to the kit reveal for the stranger.
I'm
So,
so excited.
do you want me to read it since you're running? I don't
Uh,
know if you can see it or what.
I can see it because I got the dual screen.
Okay, it's up to you.
Where is my?
Well, wait a minute. This first key attribute. First of all, okay, unit name, the stranger, alignment dark. We knew all this. Categories, attacker, leader, Sith. No surprises there. The first key attribute is each active ability has the opportunity to instantly defeat an opponent. What?
I like it.
Jeez.
All right, let me just pull it up here.
Wait, and then it sounds like we're getting acolytes. Then the next key attribute is sorry, I'm like
Sorry,
trying
I'm
to figure
trying
out
to
what this
pull
like
a.
weird. I keep hearing a weird noise and it keeps sounding like a fire engine, and I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't hear it outside.
There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to pull a Avant here and get it on the screen. The Stranger, Dark, Attacker, Leader, Sith. I think we all knew the Attacker was coming. Each active ability is the opportunity to instantly defeat an opponent. Each active ability. That's kind of like a Jar Jar. Cortosis armor provides a potent effect that enemies should avoid. Grand Arena Omicrons provide the Stranger and his acolytes with significant action economy. Okay, so that basically says it's gonna have a team.
Yeah. Unless they're summoned, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Watching Qimir reveal himself as Sith while systematically dismantling a group of Jedi was such a fantastic moment that we knew he needed to be added to the game. So here's the little thing. I actually went back and did the research on this. He never actually said he was Sith. He insinuated it. When he was fighting Saul, he said, there isn't anything that you would know me as, but you guys would call me Sith. So that kind of tells me that
So
he if we had another season, he wouldn't be Sith, he would be something else.
okay.
So a lot of people say that that's basically him admitting he's Sith, but it's not. Like he said, you would call me Sith.
Okay. Interesting. So
The Stranger was looking for a pupil, an acolyte, so this led to having him lead the team of the most powerful apprentice, Starkiller, alongside other
Star
students
Killer
like
team.
Era Sophie, Sasmar, and Redacted.
Okay, so the Sith is coming into play with Star Killer's Omicron. So with Star Killer's Omicron, you need, what is it? A Sith, a dark side unaligned force user, a light side unaligned force user who would be Visas Mar, and a Jedi, which would be Barriss Ophi. So you're missing the dark side unaligned force user.
Right here.
It says redacted.
He is a
Qimir is not
dark. Oh, he's
unaligned force
Sith.
user.
So he would be
Yeah.
the Sith, and then
So they're gonna reveal somebody who is a dark side
I'm
unaligned
gonna
force
guess
user.
either Osha or Mai.
Wouldn't it be Mai because Osha was light side, Mai was dark side, or do I have that backwards? Because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Osha was the light side that turned at the end, which God, that would actually be pretty cool to see, like in the game, her bleed the Kyber crystal like she did in the show. That'd be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
cool.
It's either gonna be Osha as she turns to the dark side, or obviously Mai because she was the one training to kill the Jedi and everything. It'll be interesting. I swear, Meathead watches this show if he put it out right during it.
It is kind of late, I feel like, for them to do a
I
kit
know, and
reveal.
he's just like, yeah, here you go, Allie. You guys are live. Thanks.
Well, typically we go live at 9, so this would have been right before we went live normally.
Yeah.
So okay, so we
The
think
power
that the redacted is like a
Osha or
Mai
Mai,
Osha. They could make her like
or
one
yeah, Osha Mai, yeah.
something.
Oh,
I
that'd
don't
be
know how they do
terrible.
that, but
The power of Cortosis. Through his helmet and gauntlet, though his power through his power and gauntlet are represented. Is it should that be though his power?
no, it says Power of
his power
Cortosis
and
through
gauntlet.
his helmet and gauntlet are represented in the new buff that reactively dismantles the enemy as they attack the stranger.
Like in my head though, it sounds better is the power of Cortosis though, or yeah, through his. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. His ability names an acolyte destroys the dream, and was that its name? Are direct quotes from the stranger and the acolyte. He says a lie is from the Sith Code and is alluded to in the show. Strategy tips: bring in the appropriate team comp to fully unlock the stranger's power. Utilize active abilities to increase the stats. The stranger has the potential for significant speed and turn, so he could punish those slower opponents. 4 speed, 2 crit chance. Conquest. And I did say that this was GAC. Yep, G8 Grand Arena Omicrons. So you're gonna have his Omicrons, and being a conquest unit, he's probably gonna have 3. And then you're also gonna have Star Killers on top of that.
Also, they this next FAQ, why is there a reference to Fracture in his kit? And then the answer is, I mean, Stranger is taking Emperor Palpatine's spot in the Star Killer squad, so there must be someone else coming to slot where Mara Jade used to be. Interesting.
Docker, OSHA.
Yeah.
How
Let's
does
see.
the benefits of the Omicron on an acolyte kills the dream trigger? Each enemy at the start of the battle, not including summons that enter during the battle, must have fallen below full health at least once. Then the full benefits of the Omicron will be available, i.e. the benefits of defeating an enemy in the massively overpowered. How does the bonus damage from taking a turn for the enemy work? When the stranger completes his turn, if the enemy has not taken their turn, then the stranger will deal bonus true damage to them until they take their turn. In the Omicron mode, the turns can stack but are not new instances of damage. I.e., the player will only see one instance of true damage in both modes, but in the Omicron mode, that number can scale up.
Okay.
Alright, so basic. Peace is a lie. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on the stranger during his turn. Gain 50 speed the first time, and this ability is used in 1 speed per relic amplifier, level max 10. Each subsequent use, stack and max 50 triggers for the rest of battle, and alert for 1 turn, which can't be copied. During his turn, the stranger has 250 speed more than the average target. 250 speed more than the target enemy. Instantly defeat the target enemy once per battle, which can't be evaded. Do you want him fast?
Yeah, so basically during his the stranger has 250 speed more. Instantly defeat. The crazy thing with that is it doesn't exclude GLs.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wonder if they're going to change the text. Maybe it was a text thing. But
Unless there's something in the GL kit where they can't be instantly defeated, which I don't remember off the top of my head if it does or doesn't.
I want to say most of them do. Like
They have that wording.
Leia can't be instantly beat by by Jabba.
Okay, so then yeah, it would just apply basically to everybody but GLs.
Unless they
Which
have it.
is still crazy because that can take out some very powerful teams.
I'm wondering what his base speed is going to be to begin with.
That's what I was about to say. It's going to depend on also what his base speed is because 250 is a lot. A lot of opponents I go against, they have minimum 300 speed for like almost every single character. So you'd need to be 550 speed in order to instantly defeat the target enemy. So he's really realistically not going to start. Definitely not over 400. It's not going to be that high. It's going to be somewhere in the 300s. So you're
So
going to have to gain quite a bit of speed in order for that instant
you do
defeat,
gain 50 speed for the first time this ability is used in 1 per relic amplifier. So there's 60 speed added.
Still, that would be, say you assume you need 550, that still brings you down to 490. You still gotta get 490 up to 490 somewhere, which is at least most likely 140 speed over what you're running with.
Plus
I'm
70
like
from
going
Star
based
Killer.
off like 70 speed from Star Killer.
Yeah, Sanimal said 70 from Star Killer.
So then you still have to make up 70 speed if it's max
So
60,
that's
so it's another 10.
130 if he's at Relic 10.
You still got, maybe the kit says more.
Alright, special 1. An Acolyte kills the dream. Cooldown 5. And a Omicron. Deal physical damage to target enemy and the stranger gains perfect defense for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Call all dark side unaligned forest user Acolyte allies to assist.
If you're running in the Star Killer team, it's only going to be the one.
Gain 50% max health the first time this ability is used, and 5% max health each subsequent use, stacking. For the rest of the battle, inflict all enemies with tenacity down for 2 turns, and all enemies with less than full health are exposed for 1 turn. If there is only 1 enemy remaining, the Dark Side Unaligned Forest user Acolytes instantly defeat target enemy on assist once per battle, which can't be evaded. While in Grand Arenas, if all allies are Acolyte, if all enemies have fallen below 100% health at least once this encounter, the stranger gains massively overpowered for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If this ability defeats an opponent, revive all Acolyte allies, then all Acolyte allies recover full health and protection.
Acolyte is most likely going to be a new tag. We're going to get probably an Acolyte tag. Which we already have like an Acolyte Initiate, don't we? And something else.
Yeah, so
One of the Night Sisters.
I wonder what this is gonna do for like the rest of that team. Is this whole team gonna get the Acolyte tag, or
No. Well, the Star Killer version of it isn't going to get an Acolyte tag. I don't think. That wouldn't make much sense. I think you see like Night Sister Acolyte get the tag, obviously. If she doesn't, that's kind of weird, but
I think you would have to give like this whole team, because they're saying that this is gonna be like Star Killer, Barris, and the rest of the team. And in the Grand Arena Omicron, it says if all allies are Acolyte, so they have to make that whole team Acolyte, or else.
well, unless you're working towards both of the twins separately, they get the Acolyte tag. Stranger gets the Acolyte tag. And then you'd still need 2 more. I don't know.
It would depend if they do them together or just the one.
I think they would do them separately. The way they're talking, it sounds like you're going to get 2 of them.
You have the whole team. Like they say Barris in that team. So there's 4 right there, and then the redacted. I don't know how
See, but
that's gonna work.
I don't know who you give the tag, because I feel like Star Killer doesn't fall into that, and Barris doesn't fall into that. But I don't know. I don't know.
Was that its name? The animation's pretty cool. Note the first part of the GIF is the special 2 animation. Okay. Final text. Deal physical damage to target enemy, and the stranger gains retribution for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Stun the target enemy for 1 turn, and if all allies are acolytes, stun the weakest enemy for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Gain 50% defense penetration the first time this ability is used, and 5% defense penetration each subsequent use, stacking for the rest of the battle. The attack ignores protection. All other acolyte allies gain 10% turn meter. If this ability is used a 3rd time against the same opponent this encounter, then instantly defeat the target enemy once per battle, which can't be evaded. If this ability instantly defeats an enemy, all enemies are demoralized for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted.
Okay.
Again, leaning into the if all allies are acolyte.
I'm curious how this is all going to work out. Trying to like make sense of it in my head with all the acolytes. It's just don't know, but it's crazy that it like ignores protection and then all that defense pen stacking. Crazy. And then demoralize. This ability instantly defeats an enemy.
You might call me Sith. See, right here, it's the quote, "You might call me Sith." Zeta Omicron. The Stranger has 35% offense the first time each enemy damages the Stranger, excluding summon units. He gains 100% turn meter. Whenever the Stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health. If he has taken a turn before his enemies, the bonus damage value is reset on each enemy whenever they start their turn. Whenever the Stranger uses a special ability, he calls himself to assist and gains Cortosis armor, which can't be copied for 1 turn or until he is damaged by an enemy ability, which can't be copied. While the Stranger has Cortosis armor, he is immune to turn meter reduction. While in Grand Arenas, whenever an enemy attacks the Stranger from an assist, the Stranger gains a bonus turn. At the start of the encounter, the Stranger can't have his speed reduced below his base speed for the rest of battle. First time the Stranger is reduced to 25% health, he equalizes his health and protection with the strongest enemy. Whenever the Stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health. For each turn he has taken before his enemies, stacking, which can't be evaded, this bonus damage value is reset on each enemy whenever they start their turn. Cortosis armor. If this character is damaged by an enemy ability while they have this effect, the enemy who damaged them loses all their protection and 25% speed for 1 turn. Does not stack with speed down.
Interesting.
This
is going to be a crazy kit.
That is an additional 25% speed on top of the 130 difference. Percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. What mod set did they? I was about to say, if they didn't recommend a speed set, what are they looking at? But
speed and health.
A crit chance.
Crit chance. So the leader.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna want to put speed on him.
Leader, I want a pupil. Zeta and Omicron. All allies gain 50% accuracy whenever an enemy attacks out of turn. Reduce the cooldown of was that its name by 1. 2 if the enemy was a Jedi. At the start of battle, if there are no GL allies and the Stranger is exactly 1 Jedi, 1 light side unaligned force user, and 2 dark side unaligned force users, all allies gain the Acolyte tag. There we go. And the following effects are active. So there we go. As long as he has that
it's the Star Killer team. Yeah. There you go.
And 2 unaligned
Should have
forest
just
users.
skipped to the leader first.
uh, Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, reduce the cooldowns on an acolyte. Kills the dream by 1. Whenever an ally has a buff dispelled, the enemy that dispelled it can't recover health or protection for 1 turn. At the start of each turn, allies have 100% critical chance while they have protection, otherwise they have 100% defense. Whenever a dark side ally is inflicted with a debuff, the stranger and light side allies gain 10% turn meter once per turn. Whenever a light side ally is critically hit, dark side allies gain 10% turn meter once per turn. Whenever an ally assists, dispel all debuffs on the ally they are assisting. Whenever an ally counterattacks, inflict the target enemy with defense down for 1 turn. While in Grand Arenas, whenever an acolyte ally counterattacks, inflict the target enemy with armor shred for the rest of the encounter instead, once per turn. Whenever an enemy is fractured, all enemies lose 100% turn meter, which can't be resisted. Whenever an acolyte ally takes damage from an opponent on consecutive turns, they gain a bonus turn. Whenever this bonus turn occurs, the ally can't gain another bonus turn this way until taking damage from an enemy on consecutive turns again. Enemies deal 35% less damage when attacking an acolyte on assist. In 3v3 arenas, if the team includes 2 dark side unaligned forest users, this will fulfill the conditions for the acolyte tag. So
So
you're
Star Killer and the new unit.
Yep.
One of the twins, if not both.
Yep. And that's it.
It's gonna be a crazy kit.
I'm excited to see how this runs. I really want to see what this takes out.
I'm really excited with the new possibilities for the Star Killer team because I've always thought the Star Killer team has been so fun to use. I'm glad it seems like they're getting like a buff, but then also a different team. Like a different option too.
Yeah, I love this. I love Starkiller. He was one of the first people I got that like obviously wasn't a GL because I just loved his unit. I loved watching the gameplay and watching him track down that ship. Like he's a fun unit. He's amazing. I love that he's
Oh.
getting his turn again.
I don't know how I feel about them bringing twins to the game, but I actually am really excited about this character and the possibilities of what the new Star Killer team can bring to the game.
I wonder though if this is going to open up the way for Plagueis.
God, I hope. I remember talking about Darth Plagueis coming to the game a long, long time ago. I don't even remember who it was with. It might have been on the Scoundrels, like with their end of year predictions, and I said I would love to see Plagueis come to the game. Could be a setup for him.
Granted, he's the Sith on this team, so unless they put Plagueis as an unaligned Force user,
But then it's like, so Plagueis, if he comes to the game, I feel like Plagueis has to be a GL.
Oh yeah.
Anything less than a GL is just like not acceptable. But I think if they do bring him, I think there's still one more GL before him because wasn't Hondo technically considered dark side GL?
He was.
So our next one historically should be a light side GL.
I'm still waiting for the middle ground one.
Light side.
I'm waiting for
I
that.
would have thought that Hondo would have been a
That's what I thought
neutral,
too.
and I would have thought Ahsoka would have been neutral, but they weren't.
Well, Ahsoka really wasn't neutral. She never really went dark.
Yeah, but she wasn't aligned. She leaned more light side, but
She
I
never,
don't know.
outside of like,
Well, she left the Jedi Order and all that fun stuff.
right, but she was never really went dark side though. She
She
never
didn't.
like
No.
helped out the dark side. She wasn't middle. She was still definitely light side. She just
Yeah.
wasn't part of that order, and she herself was unaligned.
If they were gonna make a neutral GL, it should have been Hondo.
Agreed.
I don't even know why Hondo's dark side. He should have been neutral. Because Hondo's in it for himself in the credits, and that's it.
I smell
So,
profit.
exactly. And that's
I
the
do
kit.
like this kit. I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um. All right. So, any more viewer questions?
If we got any?
Let's
No, I don't think so.
get my boy up here.
No, we didn't get any other viewer questions. I'm gonna make the cutoff for.
Look how cute he is there.
Any other viewer questions in Discord will be for next week.
All right. So I guess we'll close that off here. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you Nooch2Gud earlier for joining the stream. If you haven't followed him, go check him out at YouTube and Twitch. Both he dual streams. It's Nooch Nooch 2Good Gud. If you're watching, like it's my hoodie here. Nooch2Gud. So definitely go check him out. Nooch, we appreciate joining the show earlier. And a huge congrats to 40,000. That's pretty big. That's actually pretty crazy to hit 40K on YouTube. In general, 40K that's crazy.
Especially for this game.
So exactly.
That's a lot for this game.
So thank you, Nooch, for joining us. And make sure you check out the link tree. That's linktr.ee/club38. There you could join our Discord, find Kate's and my channels, her Twitch, my Twitch and YouTube, as well as the Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts there. So go check all that out. We have all the links right there. And make sure you join the Discord, get the Club 38 role, be notified of any recordings, any news. Next week we will be back at our normal time. We generally stream live about around 9 o'clock on Tuesday nights. So this was a little bit earlier. We are actually ending at 9, so it's going to be an early night for us. But yeah, make sure that you join us next week. Jump in the Discord, ask all the questions. And yes, as Stanimal said, he also does raid content and Marvel Strike Force too. So
That Nooch.
yes.
Okay.
So thank you all for listening, and Kate.
Yeah, thank you guys all for listening. It's a crazy episode between Nooch joining us, getting the kit reveal right in the middle, and then still being able to get through viewer questions and just talking about different aspects of the game as well. So look forward to next week. We'll, like you said, we'll be back at our normal time, and we'll see everybody then.
Okay, take care, y'all.